What's up, YouTube? Dark Signer here, coming at you guys with another video. So, I ended up going to this local tournament this past weekend. I ended up going 5-0 in Swiss, and then I ended up playing all the way to the finals. And then we just ended up splitting the finals just because I know the person, so it was like whatever's. I kind of wanted to show you guys the deck profile. I wanted to mess around with it. So originally, I was watching one of Pack's videos. It was like on the Trap BA deck that he was playing, and I really liked it. And I kind of wanted to mess around with it, like kind of give it my own spin on it. But I just didn't have all the cards. I couldn't find like random stuff that like the deck just plays. I couldn't find like karma cuts. I couldn't find like stuff like that, and like I just ended up getting up. So I ended up thinking of like what other deck I could play because I just didn't want to play zombies. I didn't want to play monarchs again. So I ended up going with pure Shaddoll, like just pure Shaddoll, and just backrow heavy Shaddoll, I guess. The deck ended up performing exactly how I wanted it to. Like obviously going undefeated in Swiss. The finals, I'm not sure if I would have won or lost. It was like a weird, it's a weird like what's like Grim Andre deck. So I don't know if I would have won that game. But it ended up like he was main decking like macro and like deep fissures and all that other stuff. So I mean that game could have probably gone really, really bad for me. And like inspector borders. So but like I said, we didn't end up playing it out, so I'll never know. But at the same time, I don't know. I do play a lot of backrow, and like so maybe that would have like mitigated everything. Maybe getting rid of his inspector borders. But yeah, so like I said, besides that, the deck is really really fun. Like actually, like you have a lot of fun because like every game is like super interactive. Just because this deck like is it's not like the Dogmatika one where like you push a big ass board. This deck literally like sets a monster back row pass like every game. But once the game starts rolling and you start snowballing, that's when the game kind of like becomes really fun. Just because like every decision you make like matters, because you wanna have like just constant like shadolls and just kind of like keep advantage that way. And I'll show you guys the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's 45 cards, so it's a little big, but yeah, I'll kind of go through with it. Shout out to the future 2021 season MVP Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah. So here we go with the deck. I think hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'll tell you guys like my ratios and why I play certain things. So let's start it off with so triple Wendy. It's one of the newer dolls, obviously, but people know what it does. So I played triple just because again you just want to keep advantage, and one of the ways to keep advantage is just to have a constant flow of monsters, whether that's in your hand or on the field. So again, Wendy just kind of is really good. Triple Schemata, the same thing. Like I like Schemata over like playing any of the other ones at 3, just because it lets you kind of decide on what you want to do. You could always have this in your hand, and then like it gives you access to obviously all the Shadolls. So yeah, because it's actually really good. Because again, you want to have a constant flow. So I always want to have Schemata in hand and stuff. So yeah, so 3 of those. 2 Hedgehog, again, like keeping monsters, like it's really good. Obviously flipping this thing's like nuts. 2 Shaddoll Beast, obviously the draw. 2 Aerial, 2 came up a lot. Sometimes I even need a 3rd, but I just can't see myself playing 3. So I ended up just going with 2. It comes up a lot, like I said, being able to banish like your opponent's stuff, like out of nowhere, like you karma, like, well, not karma, Dynamisty or something, discard this or whatever, and then like get rid of 3 more cards from the graveyard is nuts against like everything. The flip effect comes up sometimes because you do play the trap, so it does come up, and yes, it's super super nutty. But yeah, that's it for those, like the ones we played 2 of, and then the 1-ofs, 1 dragon and 1 Falco. So a lot of people obviously don't play Falco and like their builds. Falco is ridiculous. Like, oh my god, like being able to just bring back like any fusion is just nuts. Like, and just bringing back like Shaddoll Beast, like any of them is like super nutty. Like, you can, oh my, this card is just so good, and it's just a constant like recursion because most of the time you just leave him on the field, and it's just good. I thought about playing some synchros with him just because obviously he is a tuner, but I don't know, it's never came up, so I'll probably just leave it like that. And then 1 dragon, I might bump this up to 2 because it comes up a lot. But so far 1 is just fine. But I might bump it up to 2 just because of how good he's been. And then this is kind of like the utility cards that I play. Everyone's probably gonna laugh, but 1 mathematician. This card is nutty because like you just normal summon him, and then like again it goes back to like giving you like your Shaddoll, because you just send Wendy or whatever, and then just get any of the Shaddoll monsters face down, and again like the deck is literally like face down Shaddoll like backrow, you know. So Mathematician just comes up, and also he's an Earth. So sometimes when you want to make the Earth Shaddoll, you just send this or whatever. So yeah, and actually you sometimes make the Earth Shaddoll. So yeah, and then one Trick Clown, because obviously it's a light for construct when you Shaddoll fusion from the deck, but it's just a monster that keeps recurring itself. You do have to pay 1,000, but that's never really relevant. But yeah, so one Trick Clown, and that's it for the monsters. I don't play hand traps or anything, just because again like those are like minuses essentially. Um, like if you add something, yeah, you go 1 for 1, but like your hand starts depleting, and like again, this deck just wants to always have like cards in hand, and your traps just kind of back you up in the sense of like you don't really care about their board because you could easily break it, and then if you go first, obviously like I don't want to have hand traps. I'd rather get rid of their monsters and stuff like that. So yeah, but that's it for the monsters. I think there is. Let me just make sure. So there's 16 monsters. I was playing the Earth Shaddoll, the one that negates monster effects, but I ended up not liking it as much as I thought I would. But yeah, you guys could try that card. The card was actually pretty good. So triple super poly for the first spell. This card's nuts. Like this card breaks every board, so it's broken. Uh, triple Shaddoll fusion, obviously. Two El Shaddoll. I was playing three at a point, just because like against certain matchups, like let's say like Tri Brigade and stuff like that. If you open up like Winda plus like any way to like stop like their original summon, because most of the time they can like fractal into everything and then just like summon, make Shureg, and then get rid of your Winda. But once you have like any interruption, like plus a Winda, you just like auto win that matchup. It's like super easy. But yeah, so sometimes like I just wanted access to Winda turn one against a lot of decks, against like prank hits, everything like that. But which is why the reason why I was playing three of that card. But I just didn't. I don't know. I just ended up seeing myself like just needing two. I mean, it is a 45 card deck already, so I might bump it up to three just to give myself more of a chance to draw it. But yeah, we'll see. And then one Foolish Burial, because it literally becomes every Shaddoll in your deck. So yeah, and then that's it for the spells. I'm pretty sure there's 9 of them, and then everything else is literally a trap. So it's triple Solemn Strike and one Solemn Warning. This is like just the Solemn package. I thought about playing Judgment, but it just doesn't come up. What's it called? Yeah. So what's it called? Like I don't know. These cards just auto win like a lot of matchups. Like I don't know. This card's so good. And the thing is, like once you go second, it just lets you break the board. So, and then triple Torrential, like kind of goes hand in hand with Strike. Card's nuts. It's just a board breaker. Triple Dynamistius, card bonkers, man. The fact that like there's not a cost to discard is what makes it nutty. So yeah, and then this card, boom, Subterra Succession. If you guys don't know what this card is disgusting in this deck. So I'll read it to you guys. Activate one of these effects. After that, you reset this card. So the fact that it just resets itself is what makes it so disgusting. It says, send one monster from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard. And if you do, add one flip monster from your deck with the same attribute but a different name. That's so dumb. Like, it triggers literally all your Shaddolls and then it adds you another Shaddoll. So it's just nuts. And then there's another effect, but like it's like whatever. So send one flip monster from your hand or face up to the graveyard, and if you do, add one monster from your deck to your hand with the same attribute but a lower original level as that monster before it was sent to the graveyard. So I mean they're both like whatever. It's like, but yeah, this card is disgusting. Like oh my god, it's so dumb. Two Sinister Shadow Games. Another really bonkers card just because it flips like your anything that you set, but it also sends one, so you're able to just kind of like obviously have access to all the Shaddolls, and again just keep advantage, which is the whole point of the game. Yeah, I know I keep mentioning like advantage, but this is literally what it does. And then two of the Reborn Trap, like obviously getting access to all your Shaddolls the second time, and then just being able to banish it and flip something is just dumb. Because there's a lot of situations where like you could bring something back and then banish and then like flip. So there's times where I'll flip like Schemata, like to get rid of like what's it called, any of the like the Trap Brigade guys and stuff like that. So it just cards like that are just nuts. Same thing with like Sinister Shadow games. If you set Schemata and again you have like a Winda or something, you just bounce or kill whatever depending if you have Dragon or Schemata. So yeah, and then triple trap trick. So again, like this card gives you access to either of these, either of these. If you get access to this, obviously disgusting because it's recurable. Access to this and access to this. So yeah, it literally gives you access to most of your traps, except for the solemns. But I mean, what can you do? And then one schism. This card, obviously, the nuts. Like this card is just really, really bonkers. Like especially in this deck because it just gives you so much advantage, and just being able to just get rid of anything, it just makes it dumb. So that's it for the main deck. I'm pretty sure it's 45. I don't know. I think the main deck was perfect. I just like maybe want to try out like a third Al Shaddoll again, and maybe want to try the Earth Shaddoll. But besides that, it's just that. If I'll answer any questions in the comments, like if you guys have any questions about how to break certain boards, obviously the like the Trap Brigade boards are actually really easy to break because they usually have like what's it called, Appaloosa plus like what's it called, like a face down revolt or something, which is like the easiest board to break if you like draw Shaddoll fusion. Like the thing is, they have to like if you activate Shaddoll fusion, they have to get like they have to flip the revolt, and for some reason, a lot of them don't flip it. So then you make Winda, like literally Winda, and then just put like what's it called, Dragon as like chaining 2, and then like Wendy as like chaining 1 to make them negate the Wendy with the Appaloosa, and then you pop the revolt. They can't flip it, and then you get their what's it called, their Appaloosa gets lowered, and then you just run it over with like a Winda. It's so easy to break, and then obviously like, Super Poly just breaks the board, and even if they flip it, like as you flip Shaddoll Fusion, then obviously another solution, they could kill your thing. There's other cards you can make, so you can make like Acapulone or whatever her name is, and then just like negate the Appaloosa, like chain link whatever, like chain block it to negate the Appaloosa, and then they have Shurek, which is fine, but then you literally like set traps, like you know what I mean? So that matchup is like free, and then like any other questions about any other matchup, I'll put it down below, and then also I'm gonna be uploading a video because I've been testing this deck like nonstop on Dueling Book, so I'm gonna show you guys a lot of replays, and then I'll go through my matches. I'll even show you guys like my wins and loss ratios and stuff like that. So yeah, so we'll go through with that later. As for the side deck I played, triple Nibiru and triple Phantasme. This is just for like the matchups where like they just want to go off, obviously, and like you could break their board with backrow, but then you could also break it with this, which is like the reason why I've been playing like these things. To me, this is just like the most I guess impactful cards. Obviously, getting access to this and like fixing your hand is nuts, but also just drawing Nibiru out of it, so like prank hits stuff like that is just nuts. Yeah, so these just kind of go hand in hand. And then obviously against like Sky Striker, you just put this in, or against Salamangreat, obviously you beat them with this combo. So yeah, so that's why I have all this package right there. And then one Pankratops, it's kind of like the best going second card. Triple Twin, I don't play Harpies anymore. I don't like things that aren't like chainable, because most of the time they're gonna flip like anti-spell for some reason on you. I've been getting hit with anti-spell like a lot, and I'm just like, dude, like I played 9 spells. I guess like the power spells, but like I'm just gonna set back row. But just against anything, like I'd rather just have like a chainable spell, and obviously against prank hits and stuff like that, you want to have something that you could destroy during the standby phase instead of the main. Triple evenly match. This card just lets you like establish control essentially, right? Like if they have a full field, you flip evenly and then you set your stuff, and then you literally just win. Cause at that point you simplified the game enough to where like you literally just snowball, because like they have nothing. You know what I mean? You took away all their resources. And then one one Imperial Iron Wall. I just didn't know what else to play. My locals has a lot of Virtual World, so I just wanted a card that just beats that matchup. And then one Imperial Order. Again, you only play like 9 spells, so why not? I even thought I'm a main deck in this card, but it's just not a card I want to draw going second, so it's just that. But if I need it, it's always here in the side deck every time I go first. And then unless you play like Sky Striker or something, where like you can literally just put that in whatever. As for the extra deck, it's not sleeved or anything just because I don't really care about it. I just kind of threw it together. Again, what's it called? But yeah, here's the extra deck. So 2 Winda, obviously. 2 Construct, it kind of goes hand in hand. 2 Acapulone, Apaka Loan, I don't know. So what's it called? This was one of the, I guess, interesting spots because I didn't know what to play. I was trying like access code for a while, but most of the time you just don't go into like link fours or anything. But I just thought it might come up, but this thing came up a lot, like the second one. So I just had to play the second one. It's just you want access to everything, and then 1 Shikanaga. This card is nuts. The fact like, and then you need it for super poly, like when they like let's say Tri Brigade, like you want to be able to like get rid of like obviously their initial summon, and then you can just get rid of like the second one. You have so many like ways to interact, but I just wanted a super poly target, yeah. And then 1 Mud Dragon. I wasn't playing this for a while, like on Doom Book and stuff, but it came up too much, especially with the board of like when Tri Brigade make like Alpalooza plus like the warrior guy that bounces. So you just want to have a way to deal with that. Same thing against like Drytron. You want to have like a way to like deal with it. So you just deal with like the Herald and like what's it called, Beatrice and stuff like that by making this and stuff. Um, what's it called? 1 Starving Venom. Obviously, if you don't have access to your Shaddolls, this is just the easy way to get rid of a board. Same thing when people make like Savage plus like Dragoons, you just make this and they just win like easy, like super easy like matchup. So yeah. I play one of this guy just because you want to trigger your Shaddolls. A lot of time, you just make like construct or anything and then just add back whatever you put in there. 1 Cross Sheep. I never make this. 1 Shaddoll construct. The link. Essentially, you just make this to like get under like what's it called, Impure Order and stuff like that when you have to. I made it like 2 times and like it came up. So yeah, it's in there. 1 Unicorn. Never made it. Boral Sword. Made this a lot. Because like you'd be surprised how many monsters you could actually get on the board. And I thought about like that's the reason why I wanted to play access code. But the times that you make that many monsters, like you could just kill them. So I'd rather just kill them with this instead of like doing anything else. Just because like you have a lot of ways to do stuff just by like sending like the trap that flips, and then you could get like aerial and then like flip aerial. Like yeah, dude, like there's a lot of ways to just get monsters. So yeah, so there's that. And then Appaloosa, I'd rather have this over access code, but you guys can play access code if you want. It's just my suggestion. I said, this is like the extra deck I chose. For the most part, everything was good. The only thing was like the cross sheep. Like I didn't make it, but it's in there because like you need it. And again, it's a way to like get more monsters just because like you're able to make cross sheep, and then like out like Shaddoll fusion or something, and then get like more guys, and then you can make like your Boral sword, and then just start getting in there. Or if you want to play like I never made this, so you can play like access code over it or something. The rest of them I would keep. Like I can't change the rest anything else. But yeah, so this is like the only flexible spot. So I don't know. It never came up. You can usually deal with stuff on the board pretty easily. So putting back one is like whatever's. And again, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. But what's it called? That should be it, guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, any comments, put them down below. I'm always replying. And I will start streaming, so stay tuned for that. I'll make an announcement for that. And I guess lastly, I want to say that again, I'm gonna upload a video with like a bunch of like replays and stuff like that, and show you guys like my record and everything. I've been testing this deck for like a long time already at this point, because I have a lot of free time at night because I work at a bar, so I tend to get off like at 1 in the morning, and then I just literally play like all night. And yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Have a good day, have a good weekend, and peace out, guys.